Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm, if you're new to my channel, I just want to say that this channel has a variety of different topics and educational subjects. So please subscribe. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. I like to interact with my audience, and I couldn't have this channel without you. I appreciate all your comments that are positive or constructive. And so today, what we're going to talk about is sleep. And excuse me, I didn't mean to. I'm going to try to talk softly because it's very possible somebody's watching this that's already sleep deprived. And they probably want to get to sleep. If not, maybe they've been having some issues. Or they're just watching out of curiosity because they can't get their toddler to take a nap, or they're having some issues with sleep. A loved one that isn't sleeping and keeping them awake, or making things unmanageable or close to unmanageable. If you've got a test coming up, a huge test like the bar exam, say, that can really, if you don't feel like you're ready. So sleep can get interfered with for a variety of reasons, and I just wanted to go over some of the reasons and results if you don't get enough sleep and emphasize the importance of sleep. I put some links below. And I'm going to kind of quickly go over why you should really make it a habit to try to get to sleep, and when you should maybe seek some intervention like cognitive behavior therapy, or taking going to a doctor and getting some medicine, or trying something over the counter like melatonin. And one size doesn't fit all. Everybody's got a different makeup, different background, and there's different reasons for not being able to sleep. So in order to emphasize the importance of this, I thought we could jump over to this page real quick. Take a look at why it's important to sleep. So I put this article below, and you can follow along if you want, but it tells you some strange facts about insomnia. And the other thing is that one size does not fit all, and they've actually done studies on sleep deprivation, and there's some rumors going around about a study that's using graphics and real. They make it into a movie, but it's not a real study. So always fact check the studies that you do hear. Sleep deprivation can cause psychosis or delusions and whatnot, but I think it takes at least 4 days or something like that. Everybody's threshold is different, but it's important to get enough sleep. And so there's many reasons you might not sleep. You could be very happy and excited about something that's coming up that's fun, or you could be getting really emotionally upset about your situation, or anxious about someone else's in your family or something. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. So this article details that, and I'm just kind of scrolling through it a little. If you didn't click on the link and go to it, you don't have to. But if you want to follow along, you can, because I've got the links below. And what I'm doing is I'm going through the links that I looked at and sifted out that I felt were appropriate for the discussion, and had some good talking points and graphics. So this particular article mentions what happens to you when you don't sleep for days. And it describes how you have impaired coordination, memory, and judgment. So if you miss sleep for one night, that's 24 hours. You're going to have impaired coordination, that's more accidents possibly. You're going to have memory problems and judgment call problems. Okay? So this is why it's important to try to get good sleep hygiene. Now, within 36 hours, that's 3 days of not sleeping, your physical health will start to be, you can definitely tell that something's going on. It can increase your chance of cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, and hormones being affected. Um, anyway, uh, I I forgot, it's not in here, but it can actually, your immune system works overnight to do repair. And the older you are, the harder it is for the worse the effects are going to be. So your age and sleep deprivation are also important factors. And your mental health. So at 48 hours, microsleeps and disorientation. So that's 2 days of no sleep. So you might kind of space out. Somebody might look over and you're dozing off for a minute. Now, here's where the psychosis or major cognitive deficits and hallucinations come in. This is, they start to come in. If hallucinations, are creeping in and things like that, it's almost like go one more day. This is not, go one more day and it could dip you over the edge. So it's very important not to be sleep deprived. Now, you might have some problems with sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, night terrors, sleepwalking, or insomnia. There's other things like a baby, uh, having too much caffeine, um, and things like that can interfere with sleep. Now, um, if you have a baby, I'm going to get to that in a little while because there's this thing called sleep training that you can try to work on. And there's some really good things like getting a little, one of these little white out noise things and remembering to turn that on, calming activities, getting a routine. And it's probably all in these articles and books, which give you help on that. So this is why it's important to get enough sleep, because your health and your life depends on it. If your body is not working properly, and here is in this particular thing, what I like about it, it tells how infants need 14 to 17 hours of sleep a day. They're growing so much. Their immune system's not all the way in, and it's harder for them to fight stuff off that they're exposed to. And they're just really growing rapidly. To grow, you need sleep and to fight off sicknesses. Now, sometimes toddlers or infants actually are born with a little bit of wiring issues. I call it wiring, but it's really neurotransmitters and whatnot getting overstimulated. But with a good book on how to get your toddler to take a nap or your infant, it's a good idea to do it. Some parents actually have their toddler skip a nap, thinking that that's gonna help their toddler sleep at night because they're having trouble with a nap. And actually, if you're overtired, that can interfere with sleep. So you want to make sure they have a regular routine and do not skip that nap. It can actually, long-term sleep deficits can actually lead to major problems. So here's the sleep debt. The link's below. You can go through that if you want. I'm just doing kind of a surface skim and pointing out the key points. So, and I thought these graphics were really good, and they hit some really important points. And you can pick and choose what piques your interest. But this particular one has advice on how to sleep better. And it talks about some of the common interferences of sleep, like alcohol um, and aging. As you get older, sometimes your hormone levels drop off, including the hormone melatonin. Your pituitary is not functioning as well. Another thing is, they don't really mention this in here, but you need to get fresh air and exercise and the sun. I'm going to just quickly talk about, there's things that they don't really mention in these articles which are important for sleep, and that is, I'm just going to go in the order that I have these anyway, and then kind of talk about it. It's nutrition and healthy habits that can interfere with sleep. If you don't have, like, let's say you have a vitamin D deficiency, and of course you need magnesium to absorb the D, so you've got to take magnesium with the D. The sun, what is creates D in you. It's a hormone that also allows you to have like feel-good hormones like serotonin in your brain. And lighting will turn off or shut off the melatonin. Like if you have blue screen lights from your phone or from your lighting in your room. So the light can interfere with sleep, but if you get sunlight, don't get enough sunlight during the day, it'll interfere with sleep. So you want to get enough sunlight. Now, these are the effects of sleep deprivation with a graphic here. And it's important to realize that if you don't get enough sleep, you can develop heart disease, you can develop all kinds of neurological issues. You can, people might even think you have a ADHD or something, and really you're not getting enough sleep. And another thing is, you can actually gain weight from not getting enough sleep. Your cortisol levels are going to go up. You're not going to be processing as well. You're not going to be functioning as well, and you can develop body aches, all kinds of stuff. So this is why it's important to really try to get into the zone where you can relax. Some of the things you can do are to exercise. Now, if you're in bad shape, start slowly. If you have joint pain or something, try maybe 10 or 15 minutes of power walking in a swimming pool. If you can get to a swimming pool, just gentle stretching. Start slow, work your way in if you're out of shape. That's the best thing I can say. But just a little bit, you've got to move around. And sometimes not getting enough regular exercise and fresh air can interfere with sleep and sunshine. So this is a time when you want to kind of think about what you're doing. Maybe you work in an office job, or you're indoors, the weather's been raining a lot. I don't know, the causes, but just kind of analyze, if you're having trouble, think about it. Oh, well, if you've got a newborn, that's really, that's the time in my life. I know, I've been there. I had a son that wanted to, at one point, I think he was about 3 months, every 45 minutes nursing back to back overnight, crying. And people were like, oh, he's colicky. Well, who knows? But anyway, lessons learned. There's things you can do. But I'm kind of going over the importance of sleep. So this is a scholarly article that was written in 2015, and it really hits some really important points. And I'm just going to give you a synopsis. And actually, some of what I said is partially. It talks about the brain activity that you get while you're sleeping. It helps your mind process. It's like a computer processor, your mind. And it discusses it, if you want to know. It's kind of like doing housekeeping. They call it clearing the cobwebs out of the brain. Garbage disposal system. It gets rid of waste. And this is why you would get sick. The lymphs act, so I kind of went over this when we looked at the graphic. They've done studies on mice. Now, mice are not humans. Mice are nocturnal. They have a different system, but they still have all the animals and even plants have melatonin, and they do have resting periods where they switch the way they're functioning, and they do repair and regeneration. It's not like the sleep we have, obviously, because we have advanced brains. But anyway, so this is a very, very, very good article, and that's why I put it in here for you. And they even have a graphic of an MRI with the stages of sleep that are important for you. Now let's take a look at another. So I kind of I found this sleep.org, and actually there if you've got young kids, there's a couple of really good books out there that can help you, because I've done so with success with the nighttime waking and different things you can do. It's very helpful suggestions and keeping at it. But anyway, so one size does not fit all, but there's a lot of things that can work, believe it or not. So this is a sleep.org site, and share is not an endorsement. I haven't looked at everything in here, but if you look at this, your heart needs rest. Your lungs need rest. Your stomach does too. Now, your mood needs rest. Your muscles need rest. And so there's a load of suggestions that can help you catch up on sleep. All right, so let's talk about what people with, also elderly people. Let's say you've got, your mom or dad living with you, and you're taking care of them. Maybe they have a first stage Alzheimer's or something. So this sleep.org has a lot of different suggestions in it. And it has suggestions for nap time. And with little kids, routine can be pretty important. And throwing off the routine, overstimulation, things like that. Some of them are sensitive to that. Same thing with some adults. But so they even tell you how to kind of shift your schedule back, get back into sync. And they talk about college students preparing their dorm room for better sleep. So there's good advice in here. Now, elderly, really, a lot of times old people, like your grandmother, might have trouble sleeping. And they start, like, for example, right now we're in a administration in the United States where we have a President Trump, and he's one of the oldest presidents. Well, he's going without a lot of sleep. We know that because we see him tweeting late at night. And it's not uncommon for older people or elderly to have trouble sleeping. And I can just imagine somebody having the weight of the world on their shoulders trying to trying to manage an entire nation and getting criticized, because there's always people that aren't going to agree with either side. You know, people take sides, um, and they can be unforgiving. But these issues creep up, and they can interfere with your ability to make good decisions. They can interfere with your emotions. They might make you seem like you're ADHD when you're not. That's why it's important to get sleep. And also, you know how they talk about vitamins here? I do want to say a word about vitamins. Magnesium is uh, a lot. Most people, it's responsible for um, 300 processes in your body. But if you take vitamins too late at night, not magnesium, magnesium will actually help you relax and sleep. It might actually help you sweat. Um, Make sure you have enough water with it. It also could, if you have the wrong form of it, it could act like a laxative. So, but actually, constipation can keep you awake because uh, you've got a gut biome, and the gut biome can wind up stimulating you. So you have to, balance your activities throughout the day if you can. But if you're having insomnia right now and it's nighttime, just for future reference, don't take vitamin B12 too late at night. Don't even take vitamin B12 afternoon. Do not, certain vitamins will stimulate you a little. Do not have caffeine past, say, 2 in the afternoon if you're going to, unless you're working the night shift. And limit sugar. Sugar can be a stimulant. A little bit of carbs before bed might actually help you sleep because it'll go up and down like a piece of toast with warm milk. I would go for soy milk or chamomile tea. Chamomile tea really is wonderful in helping you relax. But if you're older, people do have problems, but they also do not absorb vitamins and minerals as well. And so they might need some supplements, and that's why I'm suggesting it. And so I would try chamomile tea first with a little bit of warm, you know, you can have stevia in place of sugar if you have a sugar um, processing issue, and then if not, a little, a little, sweetener of your choice. But so as people get older, it's going to be a problem, and so grandma and grandpa, they do say that aging people need less sleep, but I think what it is they can't sleep as well, and some people have need more sleep than others. So grandma might still need more sleep than you because grandma might be one of those 10-hour sleepers. And also your thyroid hormone, if it's low, it can actually make you sleep too much. So these things are just really important for the body to repair itself. I'm going to leave you with something on children real quick, or babies. And you can probably, I can't remember the name of that book. It was called Sleep Training or something. I can try to do a quick search for that if you do have a baby. So I put the link to this below, and it talks about the 6 most popular sleep training methods. I was actually looking for the book that I read on that really helped. It had so many good ideas. Can't remember them all now. I actually read a book on toilet training that worked really good too. But anyway, so um, this details it, and it tells you the right age to start the sleep training. And so there's developmentally appropriate activities for children, and there are dangers of not doing developmentally appropriate activities because the brain is kind of wiring itself. And when they're really, really young, like a newborn, um, you know, anyway, so here's the suggestions, and actually I can put this down here too. But just, try to relax, and um, going forward, you can do this. Now, if you have, um, let's say you don't have a young child and you just have, you can't turn off anxiety and, or you just have a big test coming up. Sometimes those things can interfere, and it's probably best to so when we were looking at sleep deprivation, one of the things is it's not if you miss an hour or two of sleep, you probably can function enough to pass an exam, but it's going to lower your ability to, you know, a little bit. It's going to kind of, give you a slight disadvantage. So learning good sleep habits, um, or how to cope. Now, what works for one person does not work for another, but there is a thing called meditation. Now, it doesn't work for everybody, and there's different types of meditation, and you need to do the right type. There's a type of meditation that will speed up your brain for performance, and there's a type that will slow down your brain waves. It's important to do the right type of meditation to sleep. And so blocking out noise, focusing on good things, trying to visualize a good, there's different types of meditation, but sometimes you need to try to turn the cortisol off and relax. And I will tell you, magnesium really is something you can take that's non-toxic usually. Everybody's different. This is not medical advice. Probably need to see an MD about it, but um, there's a lot of different things going on. And I hope, I occasionally go with some of this, and I have exams. I get swamped with extra work. I have family demands, and I know what it's like. I've had the issue myself, and I know what's worked for me, and I've also read up on it, and I hope this is helpful to those of you that may be having some issues. And also, I just want to make you know that you're not going crazy if you, in other words, it's a normal reaction to start getting fuzzy, and don't get all anxious. In other words, it's kind of like you start getting anxious that you can't sleep, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy. But really, what it is that's right. You're very sensitive to what your body's doing, and it's normal. It's totally normal. And you probably need to just try to relax. And if you can get access to some things like chamomile tea, quiet, you need to get the noise blocked out. You need to get in a relaxing place and just sleep. Sometimes they have hypnotherapy, but sometimes it's hard to turn it off. But you can do it. Done it before. You've come this far, and you can do it. And the same for your kids or your babies. They get anxiety too. They don't know how to turn it off. They need your help. They need your guidance. They need you to show them the way. And you can gradually introduce them to changes, slowly but surely. And things can be copacetic in the future. Anyhow, everybody, I just love my audience. I love hearing from you. And I thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you have good, healthy habits, get back into the zone, and I wish you the best. And here's my button. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for your comments. Have a wonderful day. Good night's sleep tonight. Love you lots.